Hello again, and welcome to the second class in our series of biblical worldview studies titled Thinking Like a Christian. Today our focus is going to be on the Christian worldview of history. And we'll begin by stating that if you're going to build your worldview upon something, that something had better be solid. We need to have utter confidence that our foundational belief system is standing on solid ground, not moving and shifting like sand, but solid as a rock. And Christianity sinks or stands upon the words in the Bible. So we're going to spend the first half of this class proving the absolute reliability of the Bible as not only a dependable source for history, but also a supernatural source for truth and knowledge and wisdom, the perfect how-to book for living a successful life. First, imagine questioning 40 different people on their beliefs about God. You ask questions like, well, what is your God like? What does he like? What doesn't he like? And what does he say is good? What does he say is bad? Then let's mix it up a bit by asking people from different social and economic backgrounds, ranging from the richest of the rich to the poorest of the poor. And then ask people from nearly every walk of life. We'll ask kings and peasants and statesmen and fishermen, poets and physicians. Then let's divide these people into 3 separate continents. Let's ask people from Asia and Africa and Europe about their God. And then let's divide our contestants into those who speak in 3 different languages, Hebrew and Greek and Aramaic. Then let's have them describe their God in different forms, like poetry and history, and civil and criminal law, or in ethics, or in parables, or in biographies, or prophecies, or personal correspondence, like letters. And then, so we don't make it really easy, let's ask different people over a period of 1,500 years. That describes exactly how the Bible came to us. It's a collection of 66 books written by 40 authors over a time span of 1,500 years, and with all those variations that I just stated. You'd certainly expect that a book like that to be disjointed and nonsensical, and that the God would be a strange combination of all kinds of ideas. But amazingly, astoundingly, even miraculously, those who actually take the time to read the Bible will find the same cohesive, coherent message from front to back. You'll find the same concept of sin, the same concept of grace, the same concept of mercy and judgment. It reveals God as being a God of compassion, but one who will not wink at sin. God is presented in exactly the same way from the beginning of Genesis to the end of Revelation. The lessons and the truths and the principles remain consistent from cover to cover. Now, how could that be? The answer is the Bible is supernatural in its origin. The second point is that the Bible is supernatural in its transmission, in how we got it. There's no book in all of history that can hold a candle to the Bible. Somebody asks, how do we know that it hasn't been translated wrong or tampered with? Well, the Bible, compared against all other ancient writings, has more manuscript evidence than any 10 pieces of classical literature combined. If you were to go to a modern university, you would find that the professors there highly revere and honor the ancient works of those like Plato, Caesar, Homer, or Herodotus. Well, let's compare the evidence for the trustworthiness of their writings to that of the Bible. The works of Caesar were written between 100 and 44 BC. The earliest copy we have in existence is from 980 AD. That means that the time span between its first writing and the earliest copy we have is 1,000 years, and we only have 10 manuscripts in existence. Plato, highly revered among college professors. Why? Because he was a socialist, and socialism is very cool among college professors these days, if you're not aware. Plato wrote between 427 and 347 BC. The earliest copy we have in existence dates from 980 AD, That means that there is a 1,200-year time span between its writing and the first copies that we have, and we only have 7 copies. Thucydides wrote between 460 and 400 BC. The first copy is from 980 AD again, which means that there's a 1,300-year time span between its writing and its first copy, and we only have 8 copies in existence. Tacitus wrote in 100 AD. The first copy is 1100 AD. Time span between those two is 1,000 years, and we only have 20 copies. And the great one of them all, Homer's Iliad, was written in 900 BC. The earliest copy we have is from 400 BC. Well, that's pretty good. That's a time span of only 500 years. And we even have 643 manuscripts. Wow. Well, that makes the Iliad pretty impressive compared to the other ancient manuscripts that we've looked at, until, of course, we compare it to the New Testament. Written between 40 and 100 AD, the earliest copy that we have is from 125 AD. That means that the time span between the original writing and the first copy is a mere 25 to 50 years. It's possible that the guys who actually wrote the original could very well have been the same ones who wrote the first copies. And we have 24,000 manuscripts to compare. There's no book in all of history that compares to the Bible. People have said that there's more evidence that Jesus Christ lived and walked, as the Bible describes, than Abraham Lincoln ever lived. With so many manuscript copies to compare against today's New Testament, it's been easily proven that the New Testament we hold in our hands is over 95% accurate in comparison to the original text of 2,000 years ago. Yes, the New Testament translations are extremely reliable. Yeah, but you say, what about the Old Testament? Well, funny you should ask. We have the evidence of the Dead Sea Scrolls that were discovered back in 1947 that included an ancient copy of the book of Isaiah. The scroll, dating from approximately 100 BC, was found to be identical to the modern Hebrew Bible in over 95% of the text. The remaining 5% consisted chiefly of obvious slips of the pen or variations in spelling. So, how accurate is the book that you hold? It's been translated more accurately than any book in all of history. The conclusion is, the Word of God, as it claims to be, is sure. You can depend upon it. 1 Peter says, the grass withers and the flower falls away, but the word of the Lord endures forever. The Bible is supernatural in its transmission. Some hand outside of man had to play a part in this, for these translations to come down to us so accurately.